What is up? Today I'm going to show you how to turn these dollar store tea lights into something grim and dark that scares the of your opponents. So about 2 years ago I picked up this pack of tea lights, the LED tea lights from a dollar store. I think I paid maybe $4 for 20 of these, and I've had them in a box for as long, obviously. And when the new Loonshrine was released with the Gloomspite Gits from Games Workshop, I just felt like I wanted to do something different, something that stood out on the table, something that people will look at and be kind of inspired by. So I had this idea of making the eyes glowing in the dark, and yeah, I'm going to try to show you how you can turn this into the epic Loonshrine. Okay, so here we have the tea light, and I'm going to open it up and just show you how simple the construction is here. And I think every tea light might have a different construction. It's just that this one is a very cheap one. So the way that this one works, you have the light here, the LED light, you have the battery in here, and you have these metal leads going from the LED down to the battery. The metal lead is not touching the battery, but when I move the switch here, it just pushes the lead towards the battery. So the idea would be to open this up and still use the plastic base when we create sort of the on and off function and the placeholder for the battery. And yeah, just make sure we have a lead that connects to the upper part of the battery, the minus on the battery, and then the other part needs to touch the plus side. And the good thing is that, at least with this one, like the LED lamp has like a circuit board or something inside the lamp. It also has like a safe, so when the wrong lead touches the wrong side of the battery, it doesn't burn up. And this is quite incredible for something that I get 20 of them for $4. So I'm just going to remove the lamp from this part and connect two of them together, so I have one for every eye, and then just, yeah, build it together. So let's see how this goes, and I'll get back to you in the end. The first thing I wanted to do was to open up the eye of the Loonshrine so I could see how I could fit the lights in there. I started off by just drilling a hole in the eye. I'm twisting it around a bit just to make the hole a bit bigger, and when it's big enough I'm just using a regular wire cutter, a sharp one, so I can make clean cuts. And now that the eye is almost completely open, I'm just using an X-Acto knife, and I'm cleaning it up and making the edges really smooth. And if you want to make this perfect, you can go with a sandpaper or use some milliput or green stuff to make it perfect. The eye has been completely opened and it's time for surgery. So the first thing we need to do is to remove the light from the plastic. As long as the metal leads are touching the battery, the light works. So I went over to my neighbor Marcus and we cut open this cable from an old VCR. It's a Scart cable. So we just soldered some new metal leads to the end of the Scart cable, so it would be easier to fit this into the battery holder. This part is kind of overkill, but Marcus had some heat shrinking tubes, so we applied this to keep the soldering in part a bit better. I really don't think you need to do this, but hey, when you can, why not? I had cut out 2 LED lights because I wanted one for each side of the Loonshrine. We just twined them together so we had like the plus side from each of them connected and the minus side from each of them connected. And when that was done, we just took the wire from the Scart cable once again and soldered that to the LED lights. As you can see, we just connected 2 longer cables and it just simply works. Super simple construction, works perfect. Because of how this model is going to be used, I didn't need a super strong construction. So I just super glued the wire to the battery holder. And for the other lead, there is this opening on the side of the holder, and I'm just manually entering it to this hole, and as you see, it sticks, it works. It doesn't need to be any more advanced than this. So to hold the LEDs in place in the Loonshrine's eyes, I just found a plastic piece and used some super glue to stabilize it. I added a toothpick to give some extra stability and just keep adding super glue. Don't add too much in one go, because then the glue underneath will melt and everything will lose its stability again, so you'll have to replace it. So just add a little bit each time. And as a finishing touch, I wanted the battery holder to be easy to reach so I could switch the battery if it ever runs out. At first we were thinking maybe magnets would be a good idea, but then Marcus remembered that he had some Velcro lying around at home. So I just glued one piece to the battery holder and one piece to the Loonshrine, and I had something I could easily remove and switch the battery out whenever I needed to. As a final touch, I just added some glue around the cables to keep them stable inside of the Loonshrine. And as you've seen, it's this really simple build. I think these projects are just really fun to make, and it just adds a lot to the gaming table. If you want to do something similar, you can do a Titan for your 40k army or just a big monster. If you have more creative ideas, leave them in the comment down below, and if you enjoy my videos, please consider hitting the subscribe button. I really appreciate that. With that said, I hope you have a great day and keep building.